a Farm Journal for June 4th, 2019. I love it out here in the morning. The sound of the birds, the smell of the dew in the grass. It's good. It's good for the soul. Well, welcome to Egret Isle Farm's Serene Disciple Project. It's a beautiful morning here on the farm. I'm getting underway with chores. What have I noticed this morning? Well, I've noticed that the chickens who are making their home in the garden shed probably need to go someplace else. They're getting big enough, maybe to go in the pen with or the run with the other laying flock. I've noticed that the silver-laced Wyandotte rooster is finally old enough to begin crowing. His first kind of croaky crows, which is pretty cool. I've noticed that we've been now long enough without rain that the garden is beginning to dry. I need to get the soaker hoses out and get that going. And I've noticed that the goat pen is too small. And so today, that's what we're going to focus on, giving our little baby goats access to pasture. But first, I need to make sure everything has food and water. We'll see you in a minute. As I head to the chicken tractor, I see that the yellow squash leaves are yellow. This is some little beetles that are eating them, and maybe a light infestation of goat. So here's the problem. As you can see, my goat pen is kind of small. It was a good place to start out with. It's about, I guess it's about 5 feet by 10 feet. And it was good when they were tiny, but now they're getting bigger. Now they're getting more interested in forage. And so, goat just tipped the camera. So now it's time to give them access to pasture. So there's the problem. And here is the solution. This is Premier electronet fencing. Now I should take a moment to say that I am not sponsored by Premier and they don't pay me. I just like this stuff. Though, if you're from Premier electronet fencing and you're seeing this video and you'd like to change that, you know, send some money this way and I will continue to say nice things about your product. But I really do believe in this stuff. This, for pretty cheap money, it gives me the ability to make a mobile goat pasture. This is sheep and goat fencing. It's 42 inches tall by 164 feet long. And so we're going to put it up. setup now. How does this work? I've had some requests for some of these videos to be a little more sciencey, and I did teach science for about 1,000 years. So you can see this fence is composed of vertical bits, which are non-conductive, they're insulators, and horizontal bits, which are poly rope woven with very fine wires. And so and it's kind of counterintuitive what an electric fence works on better. It actually takes less of an electric fence, in a way, to stop a cow than it does a little bitty goat. That's because how this works is that there's a charger. It would be back there toward the enclosure, and it has a rod driven into the ground. And so the electricity goes into the ground, and then up through the feet of the animal, and the animal doesn't feel it because it's all over here, until the animal touches this fine wire. And what the charger is doing is sending out pulses. Boom, boom, boom. If you ever shuffled across a carpet and then touched a doorknob, that little shock, well, that's what this is like, only a little stronger, but not hugely stronger. And so the heavier an animal is and the more contact it has with the ground, the stronger that charge is. So a cow, very heavy, lots of great contact with the ground, gets that charge very well. A chicken, on the other hand, very light, not very much contact with the ground, takes actually more oomph to stop a chicken than it does a cow. Isn't that weird? So, with way more help than I need from the goats, I'll cut this fence at the back of the enclosure. And then I'll cut an opening at the back of the enclosure, and the goats will be able to come and go as they please. So here's the fence charger all set up, with the red wire going to the fence, the green pole going to the rod in the ground, and the only thing we need to complete the circuit is a goat. And there you have it, a new electronet enclosed goat meadow, and not a moment too soon. Young, curious goats cautiously exploring a new place, coming through a door that surely wasn't there before, was it? Well, it's a new season of life for them. Makes me think about seasons of life. I meet new people now, and I'm asked, what do you do? And I explain about the farm and the smell of the dew and the songs of the birds, the roosters crowing, the goats skipping playfully around me, the quiet of the wood in the heat of the day, the croak of the egret as it flies low over the pond at sunset with its wingtips just brushing the water. And with confused expression they say, so you quit your day job to do what exactly? Well, in my life it was time for this. It wasn't the season for it before, and this season will pass at some point. As it says, to everything there is a season, a time for everything under heaven. What time is it in your life? Well, something to think about. Well, I think that's enough for today. We'll see you next time. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and give. Well, this is kind of embarrassing, but also kind of feels good. I like chickens.